it's Mrs. Davis from A Happy Place to Grow. I am so glad you are joining Mr. Grinch and I for another really fun Grinchy activity. Today we're going to take this character and we're going to put the Grinch and art together. We're going to be drawing a step-by-step Grinch face. It's going to be as big as our paper, but this will be our step-by-step guide. You need for this activity a white piece of paper, a pencil with an eraser, and your crayons, but specifically you need red, green, and yellow. So go grab those items quickly and meet me back here, and we will get started. I'll be waiting on you. Hopefully you have all your items. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our white paper, and to help us be able to line up our Grinch facial features, we're going to make a fold in this paper. So take your white paper, fold it into 2 equal parts in half. And when I'm doing a half, I like to hold at the top, sort of like a taco shell, and then fold so it doesn't get out of line. So now I have a half, and then I'm going to take that half, I'm going to fold it down, match it up, hold, and crease. Then when I open it up, my drawing paper is going to have a line, and that's going to help me line up all of my parts that I'm drawing on. Okay, so let me remove this guy right here and put my folded paper. Because we want to get our Grinch parts in the right place, we are using this line to help us. Step by step, drawing helps me. Does it help you? We can get a really interesting drawing by following simple steps. Just looking at this Grinch face, we might say, I can't draw that, but we can step by step. Our first step, we're going to be using this middle line, and we're going to be making 2 eyes, and they're triangles that are slanted. So we'll be doing a line and this long line, and then we're going to make another eye similar to that, because you can see his eyes are kind of, before his heart grew, they were kind of evil looking, kind of menacing. So grab your pencil and let's get started. Now we'll draw on this hard surface, and then I'll pull it up and show you so that you can see. So I'm going to do a line down and a line at the bottom. I made a little, it looks like the letter L. And then I'm going to connect those 2 lines because it is a triangle. So I've got 3 lines. I might even make this just a smidge longer. Hey, if I don't get the eye quite in the right shape, I can always fix it, right? I'm going to go down here, do the same thing. I'm going to make and I want to try to be about the same length here. This is going to be my long line, and then I'm going to pull up. I'm pretty happy with that. They're not totally exactly alike, but good enough. Let's see what step number 2 is. Step number 2, and this is where that line, again, in the middle is going to help us. We're going to start here in the middle of that line, and we're going to go out and out. You know, the shape of his cheeks is almost sort of a bow shape, and it goes out. It's kind of chubby, kind of goes out, and then kind of points back in, and then goes back out. So let's use that line to help us go out and meet down in the middle. So here we go. I'm going to start here at his eye, and I'm going to look at my model. I think my model is going to help me, so I'm going to kind of spy down. because, you know, I'm like you. I have to practice those drawing skills. Even though I've done this year after year, I still have to practice those drawing skills. Okay, so I'm going to go out, cheeky, cheeky fellow, and out, whoops, out, cheeky, cheeky fellow. I'm going to sort of chin it up down there. Again, I love the fact that if it's not perfect, I can erase. I'm going to kind of adjust that just a smidge. There. Voila. Okay, let me see what step number 3 is. Hey, that was easy. Step number 3 looks like I'm going to give him his fuzzy hat. You know how it has fuzzy fur. And that's interesting that step number 3 brings us to that part. So we're not seeing the top of his head because on the top of his head is going to be his hat. Now it looks like we're going to extend this cheek up just a smidge. So we're going to extend it up and extend it up. And then I'm going to create like a cloud, fluffy, fluffy cloud. And it looks like I'm going to, hang on just a second. I'm going to go almost to the edge of the paper. Again, having those lines is definitely going to help us. So I'm going to do like fluffy, 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 and fluffy, fluffy, fluff, 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 cloud. You can make it as fluffy as you want. It's your art. So we've closed up shop there. Now it looks like we're going to give him his Santa hat, and we don't have a whole lot of room. So we're going to sort of really, really kind of slant it. And I'm going to actually clip it to the board so I can, or lay it on the board and do it in my lap so I can get a good, you could do the Santa lap either to the left or to the right. It doesn't, the Santa hat to the left or to the right. It doesn't matter. Let me look at my model. So I'm going to go around and back up to the fuzzy. So I've already got the around part. And now I'm going to go back up and sort of make a closure, like almost a triangle closure. Voila. And you know, I've made this so many different times. One year we made the hat like that. Then we made it like that. It's just, you know, you can adjust and change. And every year I find that it's a little different. And we're going to give it a little cotton ball right at the side. There we go. Okay. The next step that we're going to be doing is we're going to add in his Grinchy eyes. So we're going to add in some details to the eyes. And we're going to add in his nose and his mouth. Let's give him the rest of his face. So, details for the eyes are going to be inside of his triangle eyes. Let me just pull this model down. Inside of his triangles, there's a circle. And in the circle, there's a line. So let's do that first. And I'm going to go over to this edge, and then over here I'll make a twin. So we're making up to the edge, and then to make him even a little bit more menacing, you can see that we made a slanted eyebrow, and then I gave him some little eyebrow fuzz. So let's do that. So I'm just following his eye and following his eye, and then just give him a couple little lashes, little fuzzy things right there for the eyebrow. Now his nose is pretty easy. We're going to make an oval nose, and we're going to be right in the center, right under his eyes. So oval. When I did that, I just went round, pulled it out. Now we're going to give him a crease down and then a Grinchy grin. So we're going to come straight down, and there's that line, that crease right there. So we're just going to follow that. Let me tilt myself this way and come up. So I'm going to go straight line down, straight down, but I'm not going to go all the way down. Okay? And then I'm going to give him his Grinchy grin. I'm going to go this way, up, curved line up, curved line up, and there's that grin, right? And that's really all we need for his face. Now we're going to give him his neck, line and line. This is sort of a portrait of the Grinch. And then we're going to give him some fuzzy fur down at the collar. And then we're going to give him some shoulders and some shoulders. And the Grinch is Grinched. He's done. Except we're going to have to add some color. Now, the coloring that you're going to do is pretty simple. Let me put him back over here. And if you want, I like to do this sometimes. I love to trace. If you want to trace all that in black, you've got your black marker. For time's sake, I am just going to start my coloring so that you can get started on your coloring. I'm going to start with tracing the Grinch face. So I'm going to use this green. That's going to help me. I'm going to do my green eyebrows, and I'm just going to trace over. This is a really simple way of making the Grinch. I'm going to trace his eyes. Those are a triangle, and you can see them. Whoa. I think the Grinch did that. You can see that the color really helps those features to pop out. Now I'm going to trace around the green circle, but I'm not going to color in yet. I'm going to trace, and then I'm going to darken that line in the middle, and then I'm going to do it inside the center of his eye. It looks like I've got light green, and I think for my other models I did that too. This one I did a yellow. So each year I kind of tweak it up. I'm going to do a light green in here, just fill that in, kind of light green. And then inside the triangle, we're going to color it yellow. We're going to give it kind of a creepy, he was kind of a mean character, you know, before. And, you know, sometimes people do have bad experiences and it makes them not like a holiday. We don't always understand it, but a little bit of love and kindness sometimes brings out the best in people and characters. Okay, we've got a green nose, so I'm just grabbing my green. Again, I'm going to trace and trace and trace that green. Grinch grin is green. You know, if you had some whoa, that was tough tracing. If you had some markers, you could use your markers. I love drawing, but sometimes drawing for you and with you is a little challenging. But we can do it, can't we? Okay, let's fill in the nose. I'm also going to trace the shape of his face. Go around. I'm going to hold this board just a little tighter this time so it doesn't fall on me. Yikes! There we go. And let's do his neck. So I'm going to be filling in, this was a cute nose. It wasn't quite an oval, so you could try that one too. I'm going to fill in his face by pressing lightly, and I'm going to go around those facial features. I don't want to wash over them. In fact, let me get my clipboard and come closer. So I'm just going to be doing, you know, when I'm going through those small areas, I want to go lightly, you know, because I don't want to wash back through the eyes that are yellow. So I would just be filling in all of my facial features and keep on going. And then this would be a before and an after. Let me switch it. Before and after. And then the next thing I would do, I would take my red crayon. And again, you can outline. If you outlined with your black marker, you could go back over it with red. And I always tell my students every year, you know, press a little bit hard on this hat, tracing, and then fill it in with a pot of color. And when you're doing your coloring, we've discussed this before, go in the same direction. So if you color too lightly, see the difference? It's better to kind of press. It's going to take a little bit more work, but it's going to look much better in the end. You're going to fill in your Santa hat. This part's white, so that's cool. So this would be all green, red. Down here at the bottom, one more little detail is his Santa Claus outfit. And as you're coloring and you're going around that neckline, you want to go around very, very, very slowly with little strokes so you don't get it in that white fuzz. You know, if you really wanted to get creative with your Grinch, you could get some cotton balls and glue, rip some cotton off of a cotton ball, and then glue it down there and glue it up here. That would be a different way to finish off your Merry Grinchmas look here. So, once you get your Grinch colored, that is all you need to do, except for display your work and be proud of it. He's really cute. These are all my Grinches over the years. Definitely. Oh, one more thing that you can do is after you finish your Grinch, you can color in around your Grinch a light blue. I've done that over the years, and that seems to let the color pop out. This one I did not do that, but this looks pretty snazzy with the blue. You could use any color really around him to make him pop out. So you could color in your background if you didn't just want to do it and have white. You could select any background color and then fill it in. Again, when you're coloring, I'm just going to color a little bit of the background in. You're filling in, you're going around the facial features. You're not pressing super hard, but yet you do want that whatever color the background's going to be behind. You know how when you're at school and the photographer takes a picture of you and you sit in front of a background? This is the background behind the Grinch. And it really, really makes your art look really nice and really colorful. Now that is a Grinch to be proud of for sure. All right, kids, I hope you had fun drawing Mr. Grinch. And I tell you, using step-by-step directions really helps. It helps me. It helps you. It also, if you think about this little step that we did at the beginning, so that we knew where we were putting the eyes and then where the face would be drawn, that really helps too, because if you have a big piece of paper, it might be a little intimidating on where you should start, where you should put those eyes. We had some other things to put above the Grinch's face, above his eyes, so we couldn't have them way up here or we would never get that Santa. We barely got the Santa hat in as it was. So it helps to use some visual markers, and that way you can really excel at drawing and doing your art. All right, kids, until our next Grinchy activity together, as always, stay on the nice list and